We have been talking about nouns, both in singular and in plural, regular and irregular. But we have the third type of nouns that we need to look at. We call them invariant nouns. These ones do not change their form. Join me as I take you through these kinds of nouns that remain the same both in singular and in plural. Okay, first let's look at the objectives for the lesson before we move on. So at the end of this lesson, you will be able to know what invariant nouns are, and I also expect you to be able to know how to use them correctly in sentences. So, what are invariant nouns? We have already said invariant nouns are nouns that don't change their forms. These nouns remain the same, don't change from the singular to the plural. We use them the way they are, both in singular and in plural. In short, we are not going to add S or ES, or change F to VES, or change Y to IES, and many other changes. These ones remain the way they are. Okay, let's have a look at some simple examples of the invariant nouns. We can have, from my screen, you can see example number 1. You can talk of one sheep, this one here, or many sheep. You can talk of 1 deer, or 3 deer, or 4 deer. You can talk of 1 fish, or 5 fish, and many other examples. The main point remains, invariant nouns don't change, whether it is one or they are many. Then these are some of the common invariant nouns that we have in English. My list is not exhaustive. We have very many, but in this lesson we are going to highlight these few. We have furniture, you can see it. We have luggage, equipment, information, homework, news. The way you see them, they are in singular form. They don't change into the plural. They don't change their form. They remain the same. And when we are using them, these common invariant nouns or any invariant noun always makes use of a singular verb. We are going to look at that later in our lesson so that you see how we use singular verbs together with invariant nouns in sentences. I have drawn some examples here for you so that together we can have a look at them. I want you to focus on the way the nouns are used, both in singular and the plural, so that you see when we talk about invariant nouns not changing, I want you to feel it the way they are used in sentences. You can have a look at example number 1 in the singular form. His furniture is expensive. Then in the plural, their furniture is expensive. So we're making use of is expensive, and the furniture remains furniture. We don't add anything. Then her news was not good. Their news was not good. He carried his luggage. They carried their luggage. Salma bought 1 sheep. They bought 4 sheep, and many others. We focus on using the same noun both in singular and in plural because our invariant nouns, like we said when we began the lesson, they don't change. They maintain their form. Now, I have been teaching English for some time now, and among the very common mistakes that very many of my learners make include some of these invariant nouns, where some learners, instead of talking of furniture, they say furnitures, which is wrong. They talk of luggages, which is wrong. They say informations, they say ships, and many others. These are very common mistakes that many learners or anyone learning English can make. So we need to be very, very careful when we are using these invariant nouns that don't change their forms. Otherwise, we'll end up using sentences that are not correct or constructing sentences that are not correct in English. I want to remind you again, as we move on with our lesson, I want to remind you that not all nouns add s to form the plural. We said most nouns add s to form the plural, but not all nouns add s to form the plural, or not all nouns change their form when they are forming the plural from the singular to the plural. Some never change at all. Like what we are talking about today, our invariant nouns don't change their forms. Okay, having learned what invariant nouns are, how they form their singular forms and how they form their plural forms, I want us to have a practice exercise. And in this practice exercise, I want you to pause this video. Look at these words. Look at the nouns, the way they are. We have number one, news, furniture, information, fish. You have to remember that these nouns remain the way they are, both in singular and in plural. Use them to construct sentences that are correct in English. You do your practice, do your research, and use these 4 words or 4 nouns in sentences. And you can also go out of your way, look for many more. This is just an eye-opener. Now, as we come to the end of our lesson today, I know we have talked about quite a number of things in English so far since we began, and if you feel whatever that I teach is helpful to you, I want you to follow so that you get more and more lessons. You can follow my Facebook page. It's called Nasimio Creative Hub. It is there. It has all the lessons. I shared all the lessons there. They are very easy, very simple, very practical. They are very good, especially for those friends of ours who are beginners or those who want to do more and more practice. Then you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Learn English with Smeo. It also has all these lessons. I keep uploading them with the hope that one day maybe I can reach someone, I can help someone, so that we together learn English and be able to communicate in English, express ourselves freely in English, and make it very easy.